Today, we confront a story of profound betrayal and devastating harm. It centers on the sentencing of Michael Carl Geilenfeld, a man who presented himself as a savior. Geilenfeld was the founder of a prominent orphanage in Haiti. His true identity, however, was that of a predator. He stands convicted of sexually abusing the very children he claimed to protect. This horrific abuse occurred under his direct care. The legal system has now delivered a severe judgment. Geilenfeld has been sentenced to 210 years in federal prison. He received this sentence at the age of 73. This ensures he will spend the remainder of his life incarcerated. His arrest took place in Littleton, Colorado. This was far from the scene of his primary crimes. The vast majority of his offenses occurred in Haiti. They took place within the walls of the institution he founded. Give a like and subscribe. Leave a comment. The man at the heart of this case is Michael Carl Geilenfeld. He cultivated an image of a dedicated humanitarian. He founded St. Joseph's Home for Boys. This institution became widely known internationally. The orphanage operated for over 2 decades. During this time, it housed hundreds of vulnerable children. Its stated purpose was noble and urgent. It claimed to provide refuge and support for orphaned and vulnerable children in Haiti. But the reality was a horrific betrayal of that trust. The home became a site of systemic abuse. Geilenfeld did not operate just one facility. He ran several orphanages across Haiti. He also expanded his operations regionally. He opened an additional institution in the Dominican Republic. One accuser starkly described his control. They stated he ran a kingdom down there. The nature of the crimes is deeply disturbing. They involved the sexual abuse of children. This abuse was not limited to sexual acts. Victims also endured significant physical abuse. These atrocities occurred while children were entirely dependent on him. They were under his direct care at the orphanage. Geilenfeld ruthlessly exploited the most vulnerable members of society. He preyed on children with nowhere else to turn. His actions were cloaked in deception. They were disguised as humanitarian work and charitable aid. Authorities have unequivocally condemned his actions. They described his conduct as intolerable. They highlighted the specific nature of his exploitation. He used his position of trust and access under the guise of humanitarian work. The trial brought forward courageous voices. 6 victims testified against Geilenfeld. These individuals are now adults. They carried the weight of their trauma for years. Their testimony was harrowing and brave. They spoke openly about the sexual and physical abuse they sustained. They describe years of sustained abuse. The suffering was not isolated but ongoing. The impact on these victims is devastating. The abuse left an indelible mark on their lives. Additional alleged victims also testified during the trial. Their accounts corroborated the pattern of abuse. However, Geilenfeld was only charged for the abuse of the 6 who came forward. This highlights the challenges of prosecuting such crimes. The path to justice was long. Geilenfeld was finally arrested in January 2024. His arrest took place in Littleton, Colorado. This location was far from the scene of his crimes in Haiti. He faced a federal jury trial. The evidence presented was overwhelming. The conviction came in February 2025. A federal jury found him guilty. He was found guilty of multiple counts. The verdict confirmed his horrific actions. One specific count involved traveling in foreign commerce for illicit sexual conduct. He was found guilty of 1 count of this charge. He was also found guilty of engaging in illicit conduct in a foreign place. He faced and was convicted on 6 counts of this charge. The charged conduct spanned a specific time frame. The charges covered abuse that occurred between 2005 and 2010. The sentencing outcome was severe and just. He was sentenced to 210 years in federal prison. The sentencing holds significant meaning. It represents a crucial victory for the survivors. It is also a testament to the dedication of the investigators. Their tireless work brought this case to court. Authorities rightly recognize the courage of the survivors. They praise those who came forward to testify. They acknowledged the profound impact of their testimony. Their words were essential to securing the conviction. This case underscores a broader implication. It highlights the importance of holding individuals accountable. This is especially critical when individuals abuse positions of power and trust. Geilenfeld's case is a stark example. As Paul Kendrick stated, the conviction offers something vital. It provides a sense of dignity and justice to the victims. However, Kendrick also noted a limitation. The conviction does not erase the abuse the victims suffered. The lasting impact of Geilenfeld's actions is immense. He caused immense suffering and left an indelible mark on victims' lives. The sentencing marks the end of the case, but the fight for justice and healing for the survivors continues.